What's up, Cooksy Mob? Hey, so this is going to be an interesting video. I am stuck at the airport in Charlotte. So Frontier Airlines sucks ass. They canceled my flight right when I showed up here. I checked in and they canceled it. So I got about a 24-hour track back to Vegas. But enough of my complaining. I want to thank Coach Rob at Complete Racing Solutions. If you want to get in shape, hit up Coach Rob. Epic Garage Designs. If you need something badass, check out Epic Garage Designs. They got all sorts of cool stuff for your garage. And then Ride Strapped. Hey, check out the Red Pill shirt. Is this awesome or what? They'll be available on his website here pretty soon. Use Cooksy for free shipping. And then Precision Transport. If you're tired of dealing with trucking companies, hit up Precision Transport. All right, guys, let's get into this. Check that out. People behind me. This is definitely the first time I've done an airport video. So anyway, here we go, guys. I want to talk about Super Duper. I love this event.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, guys, so I want to talk about the good. The good is this thing was a great event. It was such a competitive field. The track it looked really, really fun. It was a nice combination of outdoor national with some supercross stuff. I love the two moto format. It was just, 20 minutes plus a lap was perfect. I love that the start was elevated. So what I've always complained about with these greats is the guys come off and they lock bars because they're dead even. Well, when you have a 3-foot drop right out of the gate, perfect. You create that separation. And the split start was actually okay too, because now you only got 10 guys on each side, less chance of a major pileup. You're not sending 20 guys into the first turn to tank it. The 65cc All-Stars. I know a lot of people don't like that. I love it. You know what? At some point, these kids are going to go racing, and if their parents deem them reasonable, let them go. I didn't see any gnarly get-offs. I saw some kids jumping the triple, jumping the big double. I absolutely love it. I hope they do this at more events. Maybe not all 65s, but I love how they're mixing it up. 65s, super minis, and then at the final round, they're doing like the All-Stars, which is like the futures. Deegan, guys, this Hayden Deegan, that was awesome. He won the first one in commanding fashion. But he did kind of tucker out in the second one. And I don't know if you could tell on TV, but the guys were getting tired. It was hot and it was humid. And what it is this track had supercross stuff. And supercross is a lot more, it's not like outdoors. Outdoors, you can kind of get a flow and a rhythm and just crank out 30 minutes. When you're on supercross, you're hyper-focused, jumping, hitting quads. And then when they got to the outdoor sections, they couldn't really rest because they're on supercross suspension and it got a little sketchy. So it was a great challenge, and like Jet had a horrible day, but a horrible day was 4th place. He rode pretty good in the Supercross sections, and he was the only guy in practice hitting that quad, in the quad in the rhythm section. But from there, he everyone else picked up on it. The starts and passing was crucial, and two things made passing really bad here. One, the field was super stacked, and two, dog legs don't belong in this sport. They're stupid. And there was that section right before the rhythm where you had to go like left, right over the barrier. And it was almost like single track. So it didn't matter how much you pulled up on a guy. Whoever was in front of you had a full bike length heading into the rhythm section. So to pass them, you have to be a full bike length faster. Where typically, if there's a 180 turn, you can kind of put a wheel and get close. And then if you're just half a bike length, you can make the move. So there wasn't a lot of passing. But a lot of it had to do with just multiple reasons. One was, like I said, the competition level, and two, it was, the track design. But they'll fix that, and I mean, it's a pretty easy fix. All you do is, for when you're coming in from the outside in, is just make a U-turn and make sure the rhythm section has a 180 before you head into the rhythm section. You don't want to single file them before that. If you're going to have one of these kind of off-camber turns, make it like out in the outdoor section. Like the split section. The split section, which originally I thought was so stupid. I'm like, why are they doing this? They're going to use their telemetry, and they're going to end up with one side or the other. But it turned out it was actually pretty even on both sides, and I loved it. And it was pretty cool seeing this new thing they have on the bikes. And actually, I met Brandon here at the airport, who is in charge of that. And what it is when you go in the lead, they're going to have a light on your bike, so just on the forks. I said, well, Kenny's wasn't working. He said, Suzuki's don't have a mount yet, so they're working on that. But what I told him is if you did it in the LCQ and you just put green on everybody who's in, I think that would make it even better, because that was hard to tell. And on the Super Duper, you can hear the announcers, but let's be honest, Megawatt and the guys on the mic, they don't really know what they're talking about, and they really couldn't tell you accurate information. So when they were saying stuff, I was just like, huh? But if I could just see a green light on there, I would be like, okay, cool, then that works, and that guy's in, that guy's out. Yeah, and they actually were like, okay, yeah, I think they might do it. And you know what? It's funny. And Johnny Hopper talked about some of the things that he's brought to the sport that they listen. I actually talked to somebody from the TV crew also. They all watch our videos, by the way. They're big fans of us, and they like that we're actually critique. They take a look at the stuff and they say, okay, well, hey, they talked about this. They don't agree with everything, but they take a lot of the topics that we discuss and bring them to their meetings, and that's some of the stuff you see on the broadcast if you haven't noticed. So when they act like we don't matter, that's bullshit. They absolutely do, and they know who we talk to. They know a lot of our sources, so they know that we're where it's at. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. My boy Marchbanks was flat flying. He started 20th in the first moto and got all the way up to 10th. He caught guys, but he did have to throw his goggles. He had a tear-off issue, and I was scared for him to throw his goggles because you couldn't see it out there, but there was these rocks, and the roost out there really hurt, and it was high speeds. Just not a good track to throw your goggles. But he threw his goggles, ended up 10th in the first moto. Second moto charged up from about 17th or so all the way up to 8th. And it's funny because everyone talks about Masterpool running up front. Marchbanks beat him in both motos, caught and passed him. So who would you rather be? Marchbanks, who gets all the flash and looked like he definitely faded. But Marchbanks, he was good. Masterpool needs to work on his Supercross heels, and he will get better. But he has the talent if you want to get there. If you want to get there with the talent, he will. He'll absolutely get there. But he did look a little sketchy when Adam crashed in the rhythm section. I think it had to do with not knowing where Masterpool was gonna go, because he was a little all over the place. But the kid has heart. I love that HBI racing team, and I hope that they can get. Ideally, I want them to get factory parts from KTM or some additional support and keep him over there, because I think it's a good atmosphere for that family. Being around Caden Broswell, I know they're all like kind of Christian, and I think that's good to be around people like that who have the same values as yourself. And I just think it's a great atmosphere for both of those kids. Now, like I said, the things I didn't like about Super Duper, not that much. I really absolutely love this event. It was so cool. I think having a playoff at the end, having the point system weighted to where it goes single, double, and triple points. Nobody's out of it. So anybody that had a bad day, Hunter Lawrence had a horrible day. Sorry about that, guys. My gimbal dropped. But yeah, so Hunter Lawrence had an awful day. Like and typically if it was just a 3-race series, he'd be done. It would be over with and he'd be out. But with the way it is, single, double, triple, if he has a horrible one the next one, he might be out. But all he has to do is have a good one, and he's still eligible when it comes to the final round in LA. Joe Schmoda looked like such a beast, and Tom Vial was riding really good. For whatever reason, this track suited Tom Vial. The other thing I was bummed on was the LCQ. 10 riders in the LCQ. What? It was stupid. It looked like a local pro event where not a lot of guys. Too big a track for 10 riders. So yeah, I would definitely add 20 riders to the LCQ. RJ Hampshire, I would not have him racing. He did not look okay. He looked squirrely. I'm so worried about his career and his life. He's a nice guy with a nice family, but he's had major head injuries, and those things have consequences, and they will come back on and bite him eventually. But to see a guy out there, and you can see, and it's not that you can't see that he's fast, because he's fast as shit, but it's the little lapses in concentration. And I know he has those a lot, but I felt like there was more, and I felt like it had to do with him coming back from that massive head injury he had at Unadilla. So anyway, I didn't want to see him back out there. And then also Feld. Feld drives me crazy. So most of the guys are pretty cool. There's this guy that runs the media thing. His name's Sean Brennan. He's a little troll. I've tried to get a hold of him and just try and say, hey, what's going on? What does it take for me, Hopper, and some of those guys to get back on terms where we can actually be press passes? Because while I can do this event and cover this event, it's much easier with the press pass, and it's just more convenient. But I saw him. I left him a message. Obviously, he didn't call me back. So I see him at the event walking, and I look at him, and he turns and looks, and I yell his name, and dude, that guy scurried off like a rat. I couldn't believe it. So Yeah, if you see Sean Brennan, let him know he's a punk, and at least talk to me. Like I just wanted to talk to him and say, well, what specifically do you not like about what we do? What specifically bothers you? And maybe we can find a common ground. Because the thing about me and Hopper and Coach and everybody, we love this sport so much, almost so much it's unhealthy. But we do this because we want it to be better, and we want to bring a different opinion to it, and we just don't want to be ass kissers. That's literally what it comes down to. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I'll do some more stuff on it, but like I said, I'm stuck at the airport until I don't get home till late tomorrow. It's Sunday. Showed up at the airport at 1. I was supposed to be home at 3 my time, and it looks like I won't be there until about 3 tomorrow. But hey, the perils of travel. It sucks. So anyway, guys, thanks for everything. Remember, subscribe, and I will catch you later.